Wall hangings are so in right now because the 70s aesthetic is totally back, but I want to make one that's kind of unique to me and sort of special and dreamy, and it's really fun. Hi everybody, I'm ALB, and today we're going to be making a very whimsical Starry Night wall hanging. Here's what you're going to need to create your beautiful Starry Night wall hanging. A dowel or piece of wood, you can also use driftwood. You need some acrylic paint in color of your choice, some brushes to paint with, some yarn or string. You need a rolling pin to roll out your clay. You'll need some cookie cutters. I went with a star shape because it kind of makes a whimsical looking wall hanging. And of course you'll need your actual clay. You'll need some gloves to protect your hand, some metallic spray paint, and lastly you need a baking tray. Alright, so let's get started on our first step. I chose a piece of wood that isn't too long, so I'm going to paint this in pink using my acrylic paint. And this is going to take a couple layers, but it dries really quick. For a more rustic look, you can use like driftwood or a branch you find outside. So this is our finished dowel, and it kind of changes the look, you know? So now I'm going to move on to the next step with the clay. The kind of clay that I'm using is heat set clay, the kind you bake in the oven. I like using this one a lot. I don't like having to wait for clay to dry. So I've got my rolling pin. When you're rolling it out, aim for less than 1/4 of an inch thickness. When it's about the right thickness, we're going to take a cookie cutter. Press down, and there, we have a little star. Oh, it's so cute, look at him. The amount of stars that you make and cut out of your clay is up to you. I'm gonna cut about 15 stars out of this clay and take a drinking straw. Now what we're gonna use this for is to cut a little circle at the top of the star so we can thread yarn or string through it. So I've got 3 on my tray here. I'm gonna cut out about 12 more or so that I can fill up the space on the dowel. Now baking times may vary, it depends. You have to read the package on the clay that you have. Mine is 275 for about 15 minutes. Okay, so my stars are all baked and I've let them cool, and I've also covered my work surface in parchment paper because it's spray painting time. I decided to go with gold for this project. I just really like how gold and pink look together. When one side is dry, you're going to want to go ahead and flip it over. So all my stars have completely dried, so now we get to do the really fun part, which is assembling our wall hanging. I'm going to lay my dowel right in front of me. I'm going to start cutting some lengths of string, pretty much all the same length. We're going to cut the lengths after, but I want to tie them onto my dowel and then cut them in a pattern that I like. And you'll see what I mean as I do this. So I've tied it to my dowel, and now I'm going to cut it and start again. I'm going to do this 15 times. This isn't necessarily hard to do by any means, but it just takes a little time. I'm leaving a little space on each side of the end of the dowel. That way I can hang it up. Now, I'm laying all of these strings pretty flat, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut upwards on an angle, because I want my stars to kind of cascade. Perfect. So now it looks a little bit like this, like a really, really bad curtain. And I'm gonna lay it back down and start the task of tying my beautiful stars onto it. Okay, that's the last star. Let's take a look at this. Oh, look! It's so beautiful and whimsical. This wall hanging looks so gorgeous on the wall, and you can do this with so many different colors to change the look. You can hang it in a bedroom, it would be really pretty in a nursery, anything you want. You could even make it holiday and festive depending on how you painted it. For the full tutorial list, head on over to cbc.ca/life. Thanks for watching, bye for now.